Yeah, LA Leakers, man, in here on Power 106.
Yes,
Fuzz Fantab, Sour Milk, Just Incredible, and the one and only Common.
Yeah.
Common is in the building.
What's up with my guys? What's happening?
Welcome
up,
back
man?
to the show, bro.
Yo, it's good to be here. What's going on with y'all?
You feeling good? Nobody smiling's out.
Yeah.
Official.
Yes, man. Fuzz, you know you heard it early, man, and it's been a journey for the album, but man, I'm excited about this album, man. It's
Great project.
Absolutely.
The 10th album.
10th album at that, man.
Yeah, man. I gotta say I'm super grateful for that. And I also understood that, man, when we was making this, we was like, man, you know, the things we done before don't really even matter. At this point, you got to make music that's gonna move the people now.
Today.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So is that why one of the concepts were, you really embrace Chicago with the album artwork, with the rappers you chose to have on the features?
Yeah.
Why did you choose to, like, this is time for me to let me embrace hometown?
Man, I feel like I've, accomplished some things that I want to accomplish, and it's just a time where I see stuff going on in the city. It's hard for people in Chicago, and I just want to, provide some hope, do what I can do to help, from the people. This is the people of the city to the artists, and I need to put some people on. I remember me and No ID was talking about that, like, man, you got to put somebody on. I feel like these artists that I got on my album, some people know them, but the world don't know about them. So I want the world
Open
to
the
hear
lane
them.
for them.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I feel like you really built a lot of awareness, too, to people who aren't living in Chicago. I mean, you open up the album with, the Vice Lords mentioned.
Yeah.
And was it the Four Corners?
Four Corner Hustlers, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, right away, the tone is set. Like, okay, you're taking us right to the streets of Chicago.
Yeah.
And it's terrible what's going on out there right now.
Yeah.
And I mean, what do you say to those people who think there's no way out? You know what I
man.
mean?
I just tell them I just say that it is hope, man. You gotta see hope as dark as it is, because it is. When I go home, sometimes I ride and say certain neighborhoods, I'm like, damn, this place used to look like decent, man. It does look like a war zone. So, but I always be providing like hope, man. Like, man, you can make it, you can get it.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's tough. And you probably looking at me like, oh, man, you living out in L.A., you doing it. Like, but I'm like, man, I come from where you come from.
Same spot.
Yeah, and that's what made me really, like, embrace them even more, because I was looking like, man, look, I looked at them like, man, I come from the same place they come from.
Yeah.
You just
If I
got
can make it, you
can make it, right? That's
absolutely.
basically it, yeah.
So true, man.
And you do give back to the community. You just didn't you just have a camp out there? Is that your foundation?
Yeah, my foundation, Common Ground Foundation. See, we work with young people in Chicago, like helping to develop them, whatever dreams they have, we help them develop them academically, introducing them to new things. So we have that every month they go to a part of our program. But then during the summers, we take them to a camp and they start doing stuff. And the kids, man, they really love it, man. They like, man, like, to get away from Chicago because some of the guys are just saying they ain't even able to go outside, man. They don't even get to go out and just kick it because it's just so much going on out there. So this camp is a chance for them to get away. They be doing yoga, doing like learning about chef dancing, yeah.
Right.
So it's like exposing. One of the things that helped me out was getting exposure to new things in life, not just sitting up being in the same place. So me getting to travel was something. So I want to take them kids to I want to take people out to Paris, to to Africa.
Get their passports ready.
Yeah.
Time coming for you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so clear on this 10th album how important Chicago is to you.
Yeah.
And, just simple fact of the album cover concept, man.
Yeah.
I can't
man,
think
dope.
of,
Yeah.
I mean,
Thanks, man.
it's always, you don't realize how non-selfish he is being, of course, by letting other people join your album cover.
That's
bro.
a big deal, man.
I mean, you're supposed to put yourself on an album cover, and then here's Common, setting the tone and really giving an opportunity for cats who don't even have an album out themselves to be on your album cover, man.
Yeah, I mean, man, when you do stuff and it ain't all about you, man. It's better, man. You just feel better. It's more rewarding. Of course, I'm an MC, so I obviously like shining.
Of course.
But man, I ain't gotta shine all the. I ain't gotta. Everybody else can shine too. It's room for everybody, and it feel like it's fulfilling for me to be able to say, man, Lil Bibby, Lil Herb, King Louie, Dreezy, this shorty named Johnny, KD, all these people on my album cover, G Count. Like it feel right to do that. I owe that to them, man, because somebody opened doors for me in some way, shape, form, or another. So why can't I help them?
And you paying respect to them too.
Yeah.
It's almost like when we, back in the day when we saw Midnight Marauders, when it was like all them faces on
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
and,
it takes
and like
me
Tribe
there.
wasn't on there like that, but I'm like, that's dope.
That was,
Like,
that
that's
was a dope concept.
Yeah.
Dope ass concept.
Yeah, even I gotta say, even too, like the first video we did for Kingdom, I ain't in the video, and Vince Staples is barely in the video. For us, it was like, man, this song bigger than us just sitting up being in the video, like showing who we are. We want the song to have an impact. So when Hype Williams presented that to me, I was like, yo, that's dope.
I do dirt in search of a clear mind. Money talk. Somebody's gonna hear mine. Grind early. Before 9:30. Get out the 9 in to 30. Kiss of death. You heard me? My world ain't worldly. Anytime could be my time. I get high, but still ain't seeing Chicago skyline. In my prime, stakes is high cause it's beef. Out here in these streets, everybody trying to eat. Off the same plate, dead presidents. We want the same face. And the thing, me and the president, we from the same place. 421 murders. Ain't trying to be of the same fate. If I die and go to heaven, will I make it through the main gate?
Who came up with that concept? Was it all Hype?
Hype came with that concept, man. Hype was like, he was passionate about this, man. He was like, we went to Chicago. He shot for like 4 or 5 days, and he was like, man, I ain't been in grimy places like this since Belly or whatever. Like, and he was just, the concept was dope to me because it shows somebody hustling, and then this person hustling. You don't think they really got money. Then you see them with money, but then at the end you realize it's a girl. So it's like
she jumped off the rolls like what? And they got her. I'm like, damn. I was kind of rooting for the person to get that off.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Like, oh, get that ride.
Yeah, so that's why we wanted to create it like a short film, like a movie.
It definitely was shot well.
Yeah,
and you just released Diamonds with you and Big Sean, right?
Yeah, that's
amazing song.
Yeah.
Amazing song.
Oh, thanks. You messing with that. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
The video, we releasing the video on Thursday. It's coming out, man. That video is cold. I got to shout out my man Jerome D, who shot it. He did work with that video, and just what Sean did on that song, man. He took off on that song.
You said something about the G code, like that line is crazy. I'm like, okay, all right, Big Sean.
G code the combination. Somebody says that.
Like,
you should know the combination. I like,
okay, Big
Sean took off on that.
Yeah, he took off.
Yo, Common, you just signed a new record deal too. Can we speak on that, or
Yeah,
how that
definitely.
situation happened?
Oh man, it's I signed with Artium, which is No ID's label, on Def Jam, which I'm signing Def Jam. Man, it's been good because when we was recording most of the album, to be honest, it was like I wasn't signed. I was just working on the music, just doing the music. And then No ID was like, man, this would be the right place for this album, man. We about hip hop. Def Jam is about hip hop. And I'm like, yeah. And it's full circle because No ID, we've been working together for more than 20 years, but it's 20 years since I used to love her. And now for me to be able to sign to his label, like 20 years later, his label, Artium, and then be on Def Jam, which is, that's hip-hop legacy right there.
So this was like, it seemed like we heard that you got signed, then all of a sudden it was like the album, here's an album release date.
Yeah.
This is different. Like, a lot of people get signed and you got to wait another year and a half or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
For the album, but the album was already done when you guys inked the deal.
Yeah, it was mostly done. We was there. One thing I got to say No ID did on this album that we hadn't done before is he kept producing all the way to the end of the album, like till it was mastered. He was like, he really put a lot of energy and effort into this. Like I feel like this album was a real collaborative album as far as that goes, and we worked to the end. At the last part, I was doing this movie, so he really was just like focusing on getting the production right, and he snapped, man.
So
he snapped.
Let's speak about that. Common, the rapper, then there's Common, the actor. You got a book out. Like how do you balance everything in a 12-month span? Like how do you I know right now you're in artist mode.
Yeah, exactly.
So does that mean you're going to tour this year or?
Yeah, I'm definitely planning on touring. I'll say this: it's not when I'm focusing on filming, I really don't like sit down and be writing. Like I don't write in my trailer or anything like that. But right now, I feel good to be focused on music, man, because it's like it's the first love. It's the first love, and it's like of course I'm gonna continue acting and doing things because I want to keep growing in that field. But man, I'm a hip hop artist at the beginning, man. Hip hop is what I love. I love the culture of hip hop. I love the music. I love the MC. So I just feel good being like, man, I got a new album coming out. Well, now the album is out, and then be like, man, I'm about to go out on tour. I feel like a new artist.
Crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
You got to introduce yourself, reintroduce yourself.
Yeah, I do, man. It's new. It's new people out there that don't know Common. They don't know my music. You know what I'm saying? Like it's people out there that just, like you said, a new generation. Some of them like, okay, we know Common as an actor, we know who he is, but they don't know the music. So it feels like good to be like getting to that audience.
Right. So do you feel like, since you're in artist mode now, are you already working on something next for the drop?
Well, yeah, mentally I'm like, yo, I'm like, yeah, man, we need to go back in like now. So we've been talking.
Up, huh?
Yeah, I want to do that. And plus Cocaine 80s, the group that I got with No ID and James Fauntleroy.
There we go.
We working on some stuff too. So I'm gonna keep music out there. I want to, continue to keep.
The
creating.
vibe is good right now.
Yeah,
let's keep it going.
Let's flash back a little. We mentioned earlier a little off air about how Biggie was such a great storyteller.
Yeah.
And when I think of one of the greatest songs I've ever heard, and when it comes to telling stories, is I Used to Love Her.
Oh, thanks, yeah.
And we're 20 years in October since Resurrection dropped, man. Yeah. And there's so many questions I have about that. But first, talk to us about those days and creating a song like the album Resurrection, the song Resurrection, I Used to Love Her. I mean, 20 years and you're still standing strong with your 10th album, man. Yeah. What does that mean to you?
Man, that's an honor, man. That's a gift. And like what we were doing at that time was like, and people didn't really know Common that well. Fuzzy knew me because we was riding around promoting the album, but ultimately people didn't know Common. So it was like Resurrection was me saying, man, I want people to know who I am. I want them to know us. And it was like, that's why I named it Resurrection, because I felt like we was coming from the dead as far as the first album not being noticed. But anyway, like that process for us was just like No Idea started getting better at producing because he was around the beat nuts. He was working around different people, and he just was using his gifts and was able to dig in the crates and find, he was digging, and he was like, because that was the first time we were getting out of Chicago, so he could go start digging in different cities and finding records. He started producing beats that was like on the next level moving forward, like I Used to Love in the song Communism and Resurrection. I would get those beats. I go home. I like riding around and writing, so I would go riding in my car.
Like that now?
I'll be riding in L.A. just, man, writing, man, just
what's
writing.
What's your notes like in your phone? You probably got crazy little verses in there.
Yeah, but I don't really write down the songs because I'll be driving, so I just say them in my head. I started doing that like when I was hanging with one of my guys, and he was like inside hanging out with this girl, and I was sitting in the car for a minute. And I ain't had no paper and pen, so I just started writing the songs in my head, like, and that's been the routine since then. So I just do that and just ride through. But I was just writing to them beats, and when you get a song like I Used to Love It, it just comes like you just feel it and you just write it. It comes pretty quick. This album, Nobody's Smiling, was one of the albums I wrote like quicker than I usually would write.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know, maybe because I had like a theme and I just was inspired by the music and. I wasn't like, it was like, I got a song called No Fear. I was approaching this album with no fear. Like, it wasn't nothing like, I'm like, I ain't trying to prove too much. I ain't trying to be like, out rap this cat and do that. I'm just gonna rap about what I feel. I ain't gonna overthink this.
Right.
Yeah.
Staying in your lane, buddy.
Yeah.
And you know what I like about this album? It's a great hip hop album, body of work, first of all. And it's not, You didn't purposely go for radio, didn't purposely go for the clubs. You just made good music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, give thanks.
And that's one thing I appreciate about it, like top to bottom.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
We gotta talk about Rewind That, man. I mean, definitely one of the standout tracks on the album, and your honesty on the song is so clear. Yeah. I don't know, just maybe because I've interviewed you a few times and I had a chance to kick it with you, I hear it in your voice.
Yeah.
But
those relationships in that song, man.
You could just really feel those, and we talked a little bit how I've never heard you really speak so openly on Jay Dilla, man. Why now and why on this track?
Well, when I heard that beat, Rewind That, man, I was like, No ID called me. I think he was in Vegas, and he was like, man, listen to this. I was like, man, this beat cold. It made me think of Gangstar for a second for some reason. But when I got the beat, I was just thinking about.
I can hear that.
I was when I got the beat, I was thinking like, man, what could I talk about as far as Rewind that, going back in time? And I was thinking of different things, and I was having a conversation with No ID. He's like, man, you might want to talk about JD. I was like, nah. And then I was riding, listening to the beat, and I was like, I'm gonna talk about JD right now. I can't, like, cause it's one of those things that you don't confront sometimes, you know. And we talked about it off air, how, I never wanted to be in that realm of where people feel like I'm exploiting my friendship and bond with JD. But I felt like now was just the time once it was brought up to me, and I felt I could do it naturally, like, and really I got a lot off my chest with that, because it was some things I hadn't faced. Like when I talk about in the song about like not being able to come home sometimes you didn't want to, because you see your homie like sick man, sick like that. It's hard. You feel guilty. You feel like mortalized, because
you can't help him.
You can't help
really fix it.
Yeah, and it's like nothing you could do. You feel down, and so I was like, I was dealing with that, and I decided to talk about it in the song, and I'm glad I did, because now it's like, man, I got that off my chest, and I feel like now
it's therapeutic.
Yeah, it's therapeutic, man.
Therapeutic.
I was
really
I used to wouldn't have pictures of JD in my phone because it would make me think of sad things, but now I got a picture of him, I just see him, and I'm like, that's my man,
Damn, that's
so
crazy.
It's therapeutic for sure.
Yeah, they was in the cut. They was in Studio City in that apartment. That apartment was fly. It was like a nice little in the cut.
Yeah, in the cut, G.
Wow.
Then your situation with No ID, like you said, it was a period of time where y'all didn't talk.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, this somebody I known since 4th grade. Like, No ID. Like, we'd have been through a lot together. Mm-hmm. And then, as friends, we started creating music together. And he did the first 3 albums, him along with Twilight Tone. But No ID was the main producer. And we just, at a certain point, I wanted to grow and like do something else, and I didn't even like include him on any of the stuff I was doing. It
kind of went
my way, and it was like one of those things. Like, man, I got to do something new. It was a lot going on in my life at that time, because I was trying to get off Relativity, and I was like dealing with like I wasn't getting paid like that, and I just had my daughter, so I'm like, I got to make it happen, or this is my career.
Right.
So anyway, I ended up going to New York, and then eventually me and No ID, we stopped. We wasn't talking that much, because I hadn't like been like, yo, I want you on this song, that song. I remember us doing the song, but I didn't use it, and then it was kind of like, man, we just split up at that point, like as friends, and it was kind of it was deep a little bit, because that was somebody I'd known for a long time and had already been around. But that separation caused a little growth, because when we came back together,
it was like nothing happened.
Nothing happened. We just both were like men. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so did you, when you did you heard like No ID sent you the record, but then you wrote a verse. Did you already tell him what you was gonna do with it, or did you just like, I did a verse for you?
No, I ain't even tell him. I just like, I was on one of those rides, and he called me up and be like, "What you doing?" And I'm like, "Man, listen to this." And he didn't know the verse was gonna be about him, and I started spitting the verse over the phone to him, like with the beat playing, and he was like, "Oh man," and then he was like, "Man, you." Right after he heard it, he was like, you should end it off with that, No ID. Yeah, I was like, all right, cool. So
that has become such a staple in hip hop.
Yeah,
like that's phrase, man.
That's a big deal, man.
From of course, what Kanye did to what Cole did to talking to Nas, and now this, man.
But see, that's the one thing I was like, when I was listening to Rewind that I was like, man, I got to work with two of the greatest. Like No ID and Jay Dilla, and it's like I mean, the stories I can tell from that is like, damn, man, I've been part of this hip hop like history, really, because them dudes is incredible.
Damn, Kanye, like,
and Kanye.
That's what I wanted to ask next, was like something you've learned from those 3 greats: Kanye West, Jay Dilla, and No ID.
Yeah, from Jay Dilla, I learned, man, like, stay pure to the music. Like, that dude stayed pure to the music. Like, he wasn't like impressed by like okay, like if you such and such, you this popular artist. If he ain't like feeling it, he ain't doing it. And if
He'll tell you.
Yeah, and he will tell you, right?
Was that like he wouldn't bump it, he wouldn't listen, or he respected it, but he just wasn't working that way?
No, he wouldn't. I'm saying he wouldn't rock like
If he ain't going with the popular like if
it had to
it's
feel
all
right.
about the music.
Okay,
yeah,
I got you.
it's all about the music.
Of course,
man.
yeah.
Like and his mother told me when he was 3 years old, he was walking with them 45 records on his wrist to the park. That's what he was about the music, man. Yeah,
That's crazy.
That's what he was. But with Kanye, you know, I learned definitely about making songs more. Like, you know, he's a person that takes the whole vision all the way through. Like, he will like start the beat, you know, say, man, this could be the hook. And then you write your raps, and then he like, man, this could be the video,
The campaign.
Yeah, he know every, like, he sees the whole thing through. He got a real vision. The thing I learned, you know, and his passion is contagious. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you like, damn, yeah, I need to feel that way about my stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Be fired up. I definitely
I gotta be fired up. But No ID, man, it's just one of those things of that it always. He's always a reminder of being true to hip hop culture. Like, he really is he is a general for hip hop culture. He like
Wave that flag.
yeah, he waved that flag. He like sometimes they would be doing stuff and he'd be like, man, you know, so what, you been to the White House and da da da. You know that don't matter. You hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of, you know, he's seen the stuff. He's seen me wilding and he's seen me doing stuff, so he
keep you grounded.
Yeah,
he
keep me
you grounded
grounded
on the hip hop.
Yeah.
I see that.
I mean, they go back since 4th grade, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, so that he gonna keep me grounded, and integrity is his. If there's one thing I would put to No ID's name, it's integrity, and I feel like he deals with that from every level, like just as a human being and his music.
Com, you have this prestige about you of just
The glow.
Yeah, but I know you're a real dude,
yeah.
and you get it in. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you do you is it hard to shake the good guy's image sometimes? Like, it's not a bad thing to have.
Yeah, I mean, but I know what you're saying. It is though, because it ain't a bad thing to have, but it is a stereotype that you like, man.
Stereotype, exactly.
That you like, man, I got more to me than just that. You know, like,
Right.
like, man, I'm more than just like, okay, a guy that's gonna be talking, kicking some things that's conscious and aware and talking about the community. You know, I like to kick it. I like women.
Like bad
You know
girls.
you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I like to enjoy myself. I like to drink what I like to drink. You know, so people don't know that side of you because, you know, most of the time, either the music that it gets out for me that does get to the masses is usually a love song or something like The People, which I ain't mad about, but you know, some people don't know about other types of songs that I've done or just the history. But you know, I'm a grown man now, so it's like I ain't trying to prove nothing to nobody. I just be who I am. Yeah, you know.
Is it hard to like dating chicks now? Like, is it hard to keep that? You know, because you know we knew about the Serena ordeal. We all, you know, of course, knew about Badu, which I didn't realize she had a dunk. Until I was at Jay Dilla's funeral, I ain't gonna front. I saw her walk down the aisle like, God damn. I'm at Dilla's funeral, I'm like, oh man, I'm not supposed to be looking at her ass. My God.
Yeah. Yo, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
yo, that's what I was saying. That's what I said on that song Black Magic. I said niggas seen Badu's ass and said I seen what you was on. Like that's what it is.
Definitely an ass, man. Between her and Serena.
Yeah, I like ass.
You an ass dude.
I like ass.
You ain't going in with Trick Daddy. He's eating ass now. Trick Daddy admitting he's eating ass.
He's going far.
But you're not going that far.
That ain't my thing.
I get it.
That ain't my thing. No.
All right, I just want to make sure. Comic make an eating ass something.
No.
Across the board.
No.
He's not coming back, guys.
No, that's going way out there. No.
And how's your friend Kanye doing since the marriage, man? How you happy for the brother? He seems to be in a good space.
You went to the wedding.
Yeah, I went to the wedding. It was great, man. We had a great time in Florence, man. It was like beautiful out there. The wedding was dope. Ye is in a good space.
We're not talking Florence, the street out here in L.A.
We talking about
out there, yeah.
Florence, Italy. Yeah.
Yeah. It looked great from what we saw picture-wise, man.
Yeah, it was super fun. Big Sean was out there with us, and man, it was just like a family event. To be honest, people was like, man, you know, how was it extravagant? It's extravagant just because you're influenced, and it's like, but it was real tasteful, man. It was tasteful.
Did
and
you
we
take
had a
a
good
girl
time.
with you? Is that hard to take a chick with you to something like that?
Yeah, I ain't take a girl. Ain't wasn't no
Smart.
girl worthy.
Smart.
Wasn't no
I
girl
was about to
worthy.
say,
Smart,
you
bro.
gotta-
My mother went with me because my
There you
mother,
go.
Nice.
my mother and Ye's mother were cool. You know, they got cool in there right before Miss West passed.
That's
Yeah. So my mom went. She kicked.
See,
it,
that's,
you know.
that's a good
That's a good
answer,
call.
man.
That's a good call.
Because chicks see that, they think they next.
Yeah.
Right, no,
Yeah.
you
Calm
can't just
down.
be
Yeah.
inviting
Calm
them
down.
to-
I'll take your
I
ass to
can't
Vegas.
invite no random or just some girl
Not
I just
like-
been
Nah,
hanging out
man,
with.
that's a big deal.
Nah, bro, you don't take them to weddings.
Italy
like
and
that,
it's Kanye's wedding. Oh,
Yeah.
man, Kid Rock.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I
Well,
get it.
man, Common, man, always a pleasure having you on the show, man.
Yeah.
Couldn't be more happy for you, and the message you're putting out on this album is so important, man. And I know a lot of your fans and are just excited to hear the material from you.
Man, thanks, man. Thank y'all for the support, and it's good to see y'all, man.
All day, brother.
Every time, man. And 20 years since Resurrection, too. Congratulations
Yes,
on
sir.
that as well.
Thanks.
Keep moving with it.
Peace.
Keep
boy.
pushing, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, Common Sense, man. LA Leakers, Power 106.
Best then, better now. Available at Robert Wayne Footwear.